Welcome to the Lab After Dark, no big deal podcast number 3, I think. And we've been trying to get this one in for a while, but here we are. We were supposed to start at 7. It's now pushing 9, but we're here, and that's all that matters. I just found out that one of my best friends since, I don't know, middle school is married, but, I'm very happy for you. You should have told me I'd have sent you a gift.
I don't need a gift. Thank you.
But I still can. I can still
My
send you.
presence on this show is your gift.
No, you don't need to give me a gift. I'm not the one that got married. You got married.
It's a gift to me to allow you on this show.
I'm not understanding.
Your gift to me was you allowing me to be on the show.
I'm gifting you the
Yes,
opportunity to be on the podcast.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, all right. Well, I got off easy then. It works out for everybody. So when are you gonna have another kid? Is that happening?
Could be any day. Who knows?
How could it be any day? It takes 9 months.
I live dangerously. I'm not trying to stop the next one, so who knows?
Like, are you gonna? Do you know how
let
many?
God decide.
You know how many kids you want?
No, I have no number. I want to have like a dynasty though, so take a lot.
What do you mean? What do you mean a dynasty? Like what number comes to mind when you talk about dynasty?
Like, I want like 8 or 9 boys. So like, however many girls come up, gonna have to keep going because I want like an army, like some soldiers.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure that's not going to happen. Anyway, today on the podcast we have EP the PD, and then we have Ronnie Juice, aka Nelly. What's up, Ron? What's up, Pay?
Hey,
brothers in arms. Yeah, Ronnie Juice. Remember?
Yeah, I definitely remember.
We had a friend. We actually had a friend that made some Ronnie Juice one time. Cam Op, the legend.
Dude, what? I haven't heard his name even brought up in like 5 years. He like fell off the earth.
He's married.
Me and Peyton saw him the other day.
Oh man. Yeah, but what's up with all these people when they get married? They like fall off the earth. I never fell off the earth.
You absolutely have fallen off the earth. If I go look at my text message, and I don't want to do this to you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if I go look at my text messages, I think every 4th maybe gets returned. Maybe. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. Yeah, I always return them.
No, you don't. That's not true because
a lot of times you'll send me a link or something.
Weird bullshit right now. Hold on.
That doesn't need to be returned.
Oh, so you just look at them?
Yeah, I watch everything you send.
Great. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't fall off the face of the earth.
Well, first of all, I said I sent you a video of Robert.
Yeah.
No response. Then I sent you a thumbnail of
I watched it though.
All right. Then I sent you a thumbnail of Casey Anthony. No response.
Watched it.
Then I sent you Nelly suit. You did respond to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't want to turn into like a slug, so I'll get better about that.
One day we'll find him. We've been looking for our long lost friend. We still have not found him. So I said, I'm on it for the podcast. And then
we also got to find Tony.
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Okay. I thought you were talking about slugs still.
No, but there's like, I'm telling you right now, dude, I've sent you like, I send you like Trump emojis. I sent you a Gary Delabate Artie thing. You didn't respond to that. You didn't respond to the Kanye thing, the Richard Christie thing. You did respond to the Jeff Sokol thing. Shocker there. Let me see.
The GOAT, dude.
His
is the greatest takedown of all. You know, I talked to Chris Hansen about that personally.
Is that when you had him cut like the cameo, like about me?
No, different time. I had him on the lab.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, and we were talking about the pizza, the Sokol pizza.
Yeah, I watch all your shows. I don't think you realize.
I don't realize, but thank you. I appreciate that. Do you watch the After Dark ones too?
Yeah, I watch every time it pops up. I have you set to gives my phone a notification when you go live.
That's what Peyton says, but I don't believe him either.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Peyton was on the show last night. And by the way, okay, so there's this. Let's just get this out of the way, Peyton, because we fought about this yesterday. We're going to fight about it again today. Ryan's going to be the arbiter. Ronell, you were there. I'm glad that you're here because I think you're going to have a little bit of say so. We did a poll last night on Lab After Dark. Who was, and it was a dead tie. I mean, they say it was, there was 100 votes and somehow it ended up at 50 to 49. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah, you have to try to get something that close.
But there's 100 votes, so that doesn't come out.
50 to 49, I see.
But it should be 50-50.
I mean, somebody may have voted like NA or something.
That wasn't an option.
Maybe they made it an option.
They can't make it an option, Peyton. There's only 2 options.
Okay.
I'm the one that set the poll. I know. I watched the whole thing. And it was, he had 50% on his side, 49% on my side. However, it did say 100 votes because we shut it off right at 100. Okay. And it was 50-49. That's a dead tie. That's a draw, right?
Yeah, we have to call that 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Hey, he's the arbiter. You don't get to pipe in on that. T-Cat's the arbiter of this.
Well, what happened to that 100th vote if you don't want to call it 50-50? Didn't just disappear. So you're saying it could be 51-49.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
He ended with 49.
But it doesn't make any sense because there was 100 votes.
But you ended with 50 and 100 vote poll.
Right. But before, right before that, I was at 51. So I went down 1%, but he never moved. So I feel like maybe something went wrong in the system. No, I'm just pacing around.
Go sit down. You're echoing everywhere.
Pacing around. It's echo.
He sounds like he's in the shitter, right?
It sounds like it to me.
I'm not, though. I'm just pacing around.
But why? Move. Okay, reduce noise background for Peyton. That's good. All right. And okay, so here's what happened. Ronell, you were here for the whole thing, and I'm gonna lay it out to you if you want to chime in. Okay, so I called Ronnie Juice not yesterday, the day before. And I don't remember what we were talking about the Giants game. Okay. When Wilmer Flores hit that home run in the 9th, I'm sure you saw.
Yeah.
And so I call Ronell, or he calls me. I don't remember. But anyway, Peyton is after we're talking, Peyton is sitting next to him, like in a chair with his feet up, reading a book. Okay.
That's already good.
Dude, see, he's already laughing, Peyton.
No,
right.
No, you know what?
I just stop for a second because I know. So I go to Ronell, like, because I'm kind of chuckling, and I go, he wasn't looking at me. I said, is he looking at me? Like, does he know that I'm looking at him while I'm chuckling? And then finally, the chuckle catches his eye. He turns and looks at the camera, and he says, "What are you laughing for?" Because I have the intellectual ability to read a book.
Dang.
Like hot for no reason, correct?
That's shots fired.
Shots fired. Okay. So then he's like, "You're laughing at me because I'm reading the Hunger Games."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I think you're lying to everybody when you say it wasn't.
Yeah. So then I asked him for an apology. This was Peyton. Tell him how you apologize to your father.
Okay, I said, I'm sorry that I have the brain capacity to read and you don't.
To the man that birthed you.
That's what I thought. Like, so then we asked the audience.
That's like when I forgot to bring Chuck the hole in the wall sandwich.
I'll never forget it, man. No, you didn't forget. You didn't get him one. You didn't offer him one.
Yeah, he came at me with the same response. Like, I've given you everything in this world.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember that the exact monologue because it was so funny to me. And he says, "I've never denied you anything in this world, my own son."
Dude, this all applies.
No, it doesn't. This is like completely different.
We went to Hole in the Wall, Peyton. We went to get a sandwich. Ryan.
This doesn't correlate.
So then we go back, and he's like staring at Ryan while Ryan's killing this like turkey on marble rye.
Oh man,
this beautiful sandwich, and he's just
Hole in the Wall is like super
eating
good.
rice out of a rice cooker. Hating life, but watching what he's like watching horse racing on an iPad, and he had like a pistol sitting next to him. You remember that?
Yeah.
He just sits around with it. He just would sit around with a pistol. R.I.P. Chuck, one of the greatest of all time. He that memory will never. He used to call me Dr. Daddy D all the time.
Dr. Daddy D.
Yeah, said I was his favorite baseball player ever. That includes you, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he said he would have taken you #1 overall in the Babe Ruth draft over me.
I mean, I was versatile. You couldn't really hit that well.
Yeah, even in Little League, I couldn't hit like my entire life.
Yeah, but you could pitch and you could play defense really well.
That took me far enough, I guess.
You're kind of like the Javier Baez.
More like Felipe Crespo.
He called me that one day too. But anyway, so it's the same thing. It was the same.
Definitely not.
Okay, but take away the sandwich. So, Ronell, you tell me, was that an overreaction by Peyton?
It was too far.
No, it wasn't.
See?
I told it wasn't. You guys are so dramatic.
No,
you went 0 to 100.
You're
not.
You're dramatic, and you were the one saying to me that the only reason I'm laughing at you is because of the book that you were reading. And I didn't even, well, I did know because Ronald goes, he's reading the Hunger Games. And then,
Which isn't funny.
It is. Well, that's not why I was laughing, but it is funny.
If he was reading Harry Potter, would that have been funnier or less funny?
Funnier.
Okay.
And more understandable.
So, wait. So, it depends on which book I was reading?
Yeah, I mean, it has something, but that's not why I was laughing. It's still funny.
So dumb.
What? What are you talking? How is it dumb?
So dumb.
How?
Because I just didn't realize that like being smart was a problem.
It has nothing to do with being smart. There's a bunch of dumb people that read Hunger Games. I guarantee it.
But not dumb people that can understand the nuances
of the Hunger Games.
The Hunger, it's a critique on society as a whole. You don't get that.
Yeah, it's an allegory, Josh.
Yeah. I would have to explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand.
First of all, I don't want you to explain it to me. Second of all, I'm sure I could understand it. It was a major motion picture that little kids went to see.
That didn't convey
the plot isn't really like Pulp Fiction in reverse or anything like that. I'm sure that I would be able to understand it, but I choose not to watch. I've never seen a Hunger Games. I've never read a Hunger Games book. You told me two names. Josh, you told me two names from the Hunger Games the other day, and tell me what they are.
Coriolanus, Pluribius.
I mean, that's hilarious.
How is that funny? Coriolanus. That is literally the name of a Shakespeare play. It's not meant to be funny at all.
He said this to me the other day too. That he thinks that like Shakespeare absolves him from being a
that's like a gotcha.
Yeah.
No, it's you guys are so stupid.
Yeah, we're stupid.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, but why? Because corny Holielius or whatever.
That's why. See, I can't even talk to you about it because you just like
you're losing this argument.
I'm not losing a thing. I'm winning.
He's so angry. He's an angry young man.
No, I'm not. I'm feeling attacked and I'm defending myself.
You're the one that wanted to bring this up. I told you to drop it yesterday.
I didn't even say anything today.
I told you to drop it yesterday. Did I not? And you're like, I'm bringing it up tomorrow. So I said, okay, well, I'll make
you brought it up first.
Because I wanted to get it out of the way because it's so stupid. Because you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm right.
You're wrong.
No, I'm
now
right.
You're
wrong.
Apology.
You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're saying. The Hunger Games, they're just too nuanced for you. You can't even spell nuance.
That's not
you
why
don't understand
not why
what I'm talking about.
But that's not why I was laughing at you.
Yeah, it was.
Ronell, was it the reason I was laughing at him? I laughed before I knew what you were reading.
Yeah, you laughed as soon as I flipped the phone around.
Yeah, and then he goes, he's reading Hunger Games, and then I chuckled again, but that wasn't the original chuckle.
Yeah, the book by itself is enough to be funny.
You
would
ask
said,
me if he was, you would ask me if he was near me, and then I flipped the phone, and you started laughing.
Now, what'd you say, Peyton?
So you guys are all just closed-minded.
What does that have to? What does that have to do?
And because hearing the book alone is funny. It's not my fault. You guys don't understand the critique on freaking society today. You just want to stay blind and consume.
What? What the hell is that?
You're just another capitalist.
He's so mad, dude. And then, so check this out.
I'm not mad about anything.
So as he's confronting me on the air about it last night, and then he goes, "Can you hear my TV?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "I'm watching Shrek." Now, Shrek is a good movie, but this is a married man facing responsibilities.
Okay, first of all, it was like 11. My wife was sleeping.
My wife.
And Shrek was on.
He does that. He drops the wife on me like, "Hey, my wife. My wife doesn't."
I'm sophisticated.
My wife has an inner ear infection.
So you're saying Shrek just happened to be on?
No, he wanted to watch it.
Oh. Okay.
No, because what was going on was we were scrolling through movies, and then I was like, "Oh, Shrek, turn it on," and then we turned on Shrek. And that was the end of it.
Was that, I guess.
Nice.
Nothing more to be said, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, you've just been attacking me, and I think I have the right to defend myself. And I think everybody would agree with me who's not on this podcast.
Oh, okay. So we agreed yesterday that Ryan was the arbiter. He was the one that was going to decide whether
but now Ronell's in.
Stop. He was the one that was going to decide if you owed me an apology or not. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And now Ryan's about to make his ruling. He can rule whatever he wants. If he thinks that I shouldn't apologize, or you shouldn't apologize, and we just let it go, then that's what he says. But he's going to make a decision. He's going to tell you if you're wrong, and then he'll tell you if you have to apologize or not. And if you don't apologize, you're cut off from the family forever.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like the biography of Napoleon, I'd cut you some slack. But Hunger Games, like it's worth an apology.
Oh, damn.
You should be reading nonfiction. What are you doing wasting your time reading fiction?
Enjoying my life.
Read like some biographies of like some great military leaders.
Dude, yeah, I can read some articles like online about them like I do.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. You owe me an apology. So
I don't owe you nothing.
Start smooching.
You owe me a handwritten apology.
In cursive.
I want three, yeah, in cursive. You better get writing, bud.
I'm not gonna. This is not how it works, Peyton.
You're going
to be ostracized from the family if you keep this up.
I'm gonna what?
You're gonna be ostracized from the family.
Ostracified?
No, ostracized.
Like,
did you know? By the way, did you know that Johnny Cash was attacked by his own ostrich?
I feel like I've heard that. I never connected it to Johnny Cash. I've always heard that about someone, though. Like some famous figure.
It's true.
That's just so random for Johnny Cash, like of all people.
He owned. So Johnny Cash once lost a fight to an ostrich. Happy to see me. The Man in Black, one of the toughest guys in rock music history, it turns out, can still lose a fight or two, especially when he's battling the biggest bird on the planet. It might seem unusual for one of the world's most celebrated country rock musicians to find himself in a bust-up with the avian Avenger, but some things are stranger in fiction, and a lot of them happened to Johnny Cash. Let's set the scene. 1981, Cash's mystique was one of the baddest men in music. I don't care about that. But let's see.
God, he was like 50 at that time.
Bizarrely, running with his.
So it was his ostrich, not a ostrich.
Yeah, it was his. As it says, so his dalliance with drugs and violence made him an outlaw icon. But times changed. The singer was far from his bristling counterculture bravado of the 1960s and a few steps from his evangelical gospel image of the 70s. Truth, Cash was very lost creatively and had started to shun the public eye. What does this have to do with the damn ostrich?
Yeah, this is a big intro for this.
It occurred during a particularly bitter winter when below zero temperatures had reduced our ostrich population by half. A tragic state of affairs for any farmer, ostrich or otherwise, is not being able to look at your animals. What? It may have been what led to the unfortunate exchange. The hen of our pair wouldn't let herself be captured and taken inside the barn, so she froze to death. That, I guess, is what made her mate cranky. Before then, he had been perfectly pleasant with me, as had all the other birds and animals when I walked through the compound. That day, though, he was not happy, Cash recalled. I was walking through the woods in the compound when suddenly he jumped out onto the trail in front of me and crouched there with his wings spread him out, hissing nastily. Thankfully, Cash escaped that time, with the singer noting nothing came of that encounter. I just stood there until he laid his wings down, quit hissing, and moved off. Okay, so I guess it didn't attack him. What the whatever. You're going to be ostracized from the family, Peyton. That's the long and short.
I'll fight you like that ostrich.
Dude, in the power rankings of your family, like Robert's going to be ahead of you after this.
Yes.
Dude. Robert can't read the Hunger Games, so
Robert can't read.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually
neither can you. But here we are.
Yes, I can. Why do you keep saying that? Like he was going on about that last.
Because you're clearly like, no, you're jealous that I can read. That's what it is. I figured you out, dude.
I'm jealous.
I clocked you,
dude. You can read the exact same way that I can.
Yeah, Peyton, how do you think you learned how to read? He taught you to read.
Not from him.
What?
Dude, this came naturally to me.
No, it didn't. Remember the flashcards?
Nobody had to teach me how to read.
Remember the flashcards? Because you couldn't get your past tense and present tense right. Remember that?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. We made him flashcards so he could figure it out.
First of all, I was like 11 years old.
Well, it doesn't matter. Still taught you, didn't I?
Dude,
I could have be a dumbass the rest of your life. Should have, actually.
I would have figured it out on my own anyways.
No, you wouldn't, because you were going on.
I would have.
And still doing it.
Yes, I would have.
What is it that you used to say that you got wrong all the time? I can't even remember now. There were so many things.
I'm not saying it because I know.
Kind of like this situation where you owe me a big fat apology. So, please.
I think it was the difference between there, and there. He doesn't know when to use which one.
That's not true at all. I've always been fine with that.
Dad taught me that one.
I did. I taught Ronell that one too.
You didn't teach me that.
And I also taught the twos as well.
Yeah.
You didn't teach me that either.
Well,
did you know that if you multiply a single digit number by 11, you just double that number? And that's the answer.
Yeah, I did know that actually.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah, that's easy.
TCAT has officially ruled, I think. What is your ruling?
I ruled. I said, yeah, like that's apology written all over it.
Okay.
From who?
From Peyton.
To me.
No apology. I don't owe my dad anything.
You don't owe your dad anything. Okay.
You owe him a hole in the wall sandwich and an apology.
Best I can do is Subway.
Here, we're trying to make up for past sins, okay? We need to write. We need to write what was wronged.
Best I could do is Subway and a Hunger Games book.
I don't want either one of those. I just want you to say you're sorry. I can buy my own sandwich.
Right now, you want me to say I'm sorry?
No. Yes, right now I want you to apologize to me and say that you're sorry and mean it.
Okay.
And
all right.
and
okay.
No, he's gonna do. All right, whatever. Go ahead.
My father, my one and only father. I just want to say, I'm sorry that I can read better than you, and you can't read at all.
I mean, that's
I'm sorry that my
you owe me an apology for that now
is
too.
So good compared to yours.
He owes me now he owes me 3 apologies.
And I'm sorry I don't owe you an apology. You know, I want to apologize too for you actually owing me an apology because I must suck.
What you want to apologize for me owing you an apology?
Yeah.
I knew when he was going to go, do you want an apology? I knew that wasn't going to be a real apology.
Yeah, there goes your apology.
No, I mean, we agreed.
Sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
That's the problem with forced apologies, though, because when you force someone to give an apology under duress, like you don't know if it's going to be sincere.
I just wanted to hear the words. That's it.
I'm so sorry you caught me reading.
I mean, he's manipulating the conversation.
All right, I take back the fake apology.
Hey, after he's done with the Hunger Games, he's going to graduate to something more in-depth, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So It's all good.
I could see that happening.
I already read those last week.
Maybe he'll switch to how to get estrogen out of your system.
Ooh. I don't have estrogen. I'm all T.
I'm all T.
Yeah.
No, you're
we
not.
shall get tested, have a contest.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, next podcast, let's do it.
No, because Peyton will lose and then he'll cry and be like, my T's high.
It is high.
No, it's
I'm
not.
hairy.
My
voice is deep.
I don't think that has much to do with T.
Yeah, it does.
Does it, Ryan?
Yeah, a little bit. Not
as much as you would think.
It's a contributing factor. So is like hair loss. Like if you have bad hair, if you're like balding, that's symptom of higher testosterone.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
My hairline is kind of being pushed
because when you
back
think about it, it's
day.
men who lose their hair and not women. So it's testosterone's a part of that. They do, but it's like less. It's less.
Peyton, did you just say you were going bald?
No, I just said my hairline's kind of like being pushed back.
Man,
like LeBron?
No, not like him. I'd be
I
bald.
have really low T because my hair is on point.
Okay. Oh.
By the way, Nate Hawk passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. dude.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Nate Hawk is he's somebody that we've talked about on, I believe, on this very show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he was a high school childhood friend, and I spent the craziest night of my life with him, where I legitimately thought that I wasn't going to live to see 17. And
luckily I never really spent any time with him outside of like a baseball field, so I got spared.
So that was a huge mistake on my part, was getting lured out to Neverland, and it was like the weirdest place I've ever been. It was like it was almost kind of like heaven. Like it was beautiful, but like it was scary, you know. And the moment I knew that I was that I had probably made a major mistake by catching a ride out there from a guy named Andy Reid.
Oh, geez.
Who he refused to stay. I was like, I thought you're staying, and he took off.
That should have been your clue.
Well, it was my clue, but what was I going to do? I couldn't get a hold of him. There was no cell phones. He took off down the road, and I was like, oh, Andy, you coming in? He's like, no. And then
he's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, he's like, you're not staying? No. And then he's like, and then he goes, shut my door. So I shut it, and then he drove off. And he's like, all right, see you guys tomorrow, maybe. He like, so Nate was a bit of a party guy. And I didn't realize that it only took 2 people to have a party. Like it was just him and I until the morning because some girls showed up that I never had any contact with. And he was riding horses with them in the meadow.
Meadow.
Yeah, in his underwear. But my first, so Andy drives off. He takes off like a bat out of hell, right? And then we're in the living room, and I said I thought his parents were home too. He said his mom was touring in Europe with her new boyfriend. So he'd been home for like 6 years by himself. He's like 16 years old. The first thing he does, he pulls out a chair and a 6-foot bong and stands on the chair and says, "Light this for me." So I did.
Yeah, of course. You're polite.
And then he put on Korn, the music.
God.
And it was blaring loud. Then he pulls out from under his bed a 6-pack of 211.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like Steel Reserve. And he shotguns one. And he's like, "Here, you want one?" I was like, "No.
I'm good.
I'm all right." And then but anyway, so yeah, I partook a little bit in the devil's lettuce, but it wasn't normal. There was something there. Because I got as paranoid as I'd ever been in my life. Matter of fact, to the point where Nate's like trying to calm me down. It's all right, dude. Here, drink.
Yeah, he became the voice of reason, and when that's happening, you know that you've backed yourself into a corner.
So here was the scariest part of the entire night. I was gonna call. First of all, I didn't even know where to send somebody to come get me. I had no idea.
Like they didn't have an address.
Yeah, I had no clue where we were. And I didn't know where to look for an address. We were just in this like house on this field. It was like Little House on the Prairie, basically, dude. And but I somehow, in my incapacitated state, made I made it into a room where there was a telephone. And
plotted your escape.
I picked up the phone and it was disconnected. So instantly I become even more paranoid, right? We have a game the next day. We have a game at like 10 in the morning. Andy's coming back to get us. So
what team was this? Was this the Indians?
The Diamondbacks.
Oh, the D-backs, yeah.
Yeah, we were actually playing Slugs' team the next day. The Indians. He was the Indian.
Yeah.
And anyway, we make it through the night somehow, some way. But the thing was, I fell asleep. I think it was in his mom's room or it was a spare room. I don't know. I just woke up and it was like 5:36 in the morning. It's all foggy. I go out and I look out. It's like Yellowstone, dude. I go out and I look out and it's just like fog everywhere. And I hear this. One of the horses in his underwear, and some girl is on the back of the horse with him.
It's like 5:30 a.m.
It's trotting around, and I go, "Nate, we got a game soon." He's like, "We do?" I was like, "Yeah," and then he goes, "Well, I'll be in." He's like, well, "I'm gonna ride in right now. I'm gonna ride in." So he does. He rides in. The horse. He ties the horse up outside like it's
like tied it to a post.
Yeah, like it was like Bonanza, dude. Or what is that? Red Dead Redemption? Like he just tied the horse up. I didn't even know there were horses when I got there. So, but there were a few out there. But anyway, it was just one of the craziest nights. And then he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to go to sleep." And I was like, "Well, we got to like be up in like 2 hours." And he's like, "Yeah, that's no problem." Goes to sleep. And then
that's all he needed. Dude.
Yeah, he wakes up and then stands on the chair again.
I probably went 3 for 4 that morning.
I think he hit a bomb that day. He's a really good baseball player. But yeah, he passed away, and I still don't know of what. I can only imagine.
I never heard of what.
I don't know. I think he obviously struggled later in life.
Yeah.
Which I would assume, but I look back on that. It was quite the experience. There was I can't even remember half of what went on that day, but it was a lot. And the fact that Andy didn't want to stay around was enough to tell me that something wasn't going to go well. But the thing was, he actually cared for me, which was weird.
Well, you got a story out of it too, so it ended up being worth it.
Yeah, but I still shudder telling the story, like, because I think like this could have gone awfully wrong, you know. And it did go awfully wrong.
It did go.
It went wrong, but I mean, the thing
you didn't get on one of the horses?
No. No, and you know what? He actually invited me back the next day.
Jeez.
That wasn't happening.
Could have been his roommate.
Well, like I said, his mom was touring in Europe. Touring Europe. So she leaves him at home. He's home alone with a horse.
Touring Europe.
Yeah.
Is she in like a band?
I don't know, but he told me that he would ride the horse to like the country market.
Yeah, this is transportation.
Yeah, but that was like 7 miles away. And he'd ride a horse 7 miles. This is 2001. People don't travel on horses. But Nate traveled on a horse.
Hey, that's a simple man.
If he wanted to go get a Gatorade, he'd had to hop on the horse and ride it to the country mart.
7 miles.
7 miles, yeah.
That's so far.
It is far, especially riding a horse. But like he said, it only took him like 30 minutes round trip. That's pretty good.
That's not that bad.
It's not. He also had a mule too. The mule, he said, was more for the mountains. I didn't know what that meant. I have no idea. To this day, I still don't know. The mule was for the mountains? What does that mean? Does anybody know?
With the mule.
I don't even know that.
For when he's traversing through the mountains, dude, he uses the
mule with him, yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie, did you know that T-Cat's married?
Legally, yeah.
As of tonight, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. How come you didn't tell? Did Slugs know you're married?
Yeah, everybody does, except you. I posted a big thing on my Facebook.
That doesn't go on Facebook.
You're such a liar.
No, nobody knows. Only my family and you.
And you never told
20,000 people that are gonna end up watching this.
Well, I hope that would be awesome.
No, I said I didn't make it wider known because we might eventually do like a ceremony, and we don't want people to know that it's fake.
It wouldn't be fake.
Well, yeah, people are gonna think that we're getting married when we're already.
Well, I mean, people do that all the time. It's
like a renewal of vows.
Well, no, it's not fake. You've just never had an actual wedding.
Yeah, but like when we say like I now pronounce you husband and wife, like that's not actually happening right then.
Or at Peyton's wedding, luckily was husband and wife. It almost was husband and husband.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, you're in California. That's allowed.
It's allowed. I'll allow it.
You're just making that up.
He gets so butt. You owe me an apology.
I don't owe you a thing, and now you're digging yourself a deeper hole.
Oh yeah, I'm digging myself a deeper hole.
Yeah, you are.
Why? How is that possible? You're not listening to you're like A-Rod. You're not listening to the arbitrator. You're not accepting your 200 game suspension for lying for doing steroids.
A-Rod's innocent, dude. Free A-Rod.
He's definitely not. He definitely admitted to it. Remember when you went on Mike Francesa right after? Did you ever see that interview with him?
With who?
You know who Mike Francesa is?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see the interview like right after they made the decision, dude? Well, I'll bring it up. Hold on.
It's like my favorite like talk show ever.
Francesa?
Francesca, whatever.
No, I love Mike Francesa, or I used to. I don't know.
Like
Peyton likes the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. I asked Peyton once. I go, "Do you have like notifications on for my show?" He's like, "No." And then I saw like on his phone pop up a notification with the Pat McAfee show.
Tell me that's not like tight.
That's his thing, bro.
I don't really like him anymore because of that last LeBron interview. He was like,
You didn't like that Braun interview?
No, it was like the worst thing I've ever seen.
What?
Oh my. It was good.
He looked like a fangirl.
Well,
Dude, I'm Team Stephen A. in that feud, dude.
Oh, big time.
I just don't like. They're bringing up Kobe.
Stephen is a square.
I don't
No,
like.
he's not. He would have swung.
He wouldn't have swung on Braun, bro. Braun would crush him.
I'd swing on Braun.
I'd swing on
He
Braun.
would crush you too.
Did you see that? What LeBron posted about Stephen A. punching like the punching bag?
No, I
That
didn't see that.
boxing clip.
The boxing clip is so bad. Although Peyton loves it. Okay, here we go. Let me
Love what? What are you talking about?
shush. Love what? What are you talking about? You owe me an apology before this is over.
Loves Pat McAfee.
Not anymore. That interview just.
Yeah, well, you know, LeBron's good for his show, so whatever.
Well, LeBron's stupid.
So this is right after he just drives down the road. He's in New York for the arbitration hearing, and he loses it. And I guess A-Rod had flipped out and kicked a bunch of stuff in the office and drives right down to Francesa and like completely.
Oh, he's like in studio.
Yeah. You know, Frances is just loving life. Like this is a huge. This is his white Bronco.
We're back, and I didn't throw it because I didn't know. We have A-Rod in studio, and one of his many lawyers, Jim McCarroll. Jim, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Doing well. How are you?
All right, and obviously A-Rod, welcome. How are you?
I've been better.
This is great. Jim, A-Rod knows this because he watches it all the time. I don't know how much you watch. This is the Yes Network we're on now, the Yankee Network, as a matter of fact, and obviously on WFAN. First of all, and Jim, you can chime in where you have to. A-Rod, tell me what happened today.
Well, we got a ruling that the commissioner does not have to come in from Milwaukee, and it was very disappointing. Obviously, I've been there for 10 or 12 days, whatever's been there for every pitch. I have my girls back home in Miami, and it's been difficult, but respecting the process, having been offered to come in a million shows, haven't done anything, and just been really just taking it one day at a time and respecting the process. And today I lost my mind. I banged the table and kicked a briefcase and slammed out of the room and just felt like this system, I knew it was restricted, and I knew it wasn't fair. But what we saw today is just, it was disgusting. And the fact that the man from Milwaukee that put this suspension on me with not one bit of evidence, something I didn't do, and he doesn't have the courage to come look at me in the eye and tell me this is why I did 211. I shouldn't serve one inning. And this guy should come to our city. I know he doesn't like New York. I love this city. I love being a Yankee. My daughters grew up in New York. And for this guy, the embarrassment that he's put me and my family through, and he doesn't have the courage to come see me and tell me, this is why I'm going to destroy your career. And I have to explain this to my daughters every day.
So you thought now, Jim, you can chime on this too. You prepared A-Rod. I mean, you have your list. Were you given any prior notice that the commissioner was not coming?
No, none whatsoever.
So you thought the commissioner would be there today?
No, we did not think he'd be here today.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
We had.
So he wasn't going to testify today. Let's clear that up.
We had sent him to testify tomorrow.
Okay.
MLB opposed vigorously.
Right.
They made argument.
Anyway, so they go through this whole 45-minute interview where he's like, he like asked him, he's like, A-Rod, did you do any steroids? He's like, no, unequivocally no. And then like 2 years later, he like admits to everything. I just always found that funny that now him and Francesa are good buddies, but A-Rod was not innocent, I don't think.
No, they forced him. That was a confession under duress.
Like an apology under duress.
It's very similar to what we're experiencing tonight.
Right.
God, I feel like A-Rod.
Well, you're nothing like him, but because he could hit a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't hit a baseball.
And you couldn't.
Right.
Like I don't think I've ever seen somebody swing and miss so much.
Okay.
Apologize to me, and I'll apologize to you for saying that.
I'll literally never apologize to you.
I mean, where does he get this? Nelly, would you apologize under these circumstances?
Yeah.
He says, yeah.
Man, a few words.
He's a
Straight
normal,
to the point. Love it.
He's normal. He's a normal person, you know?
I'm normal.
Huh?
I'm normal. I know injustice when I see it.
You know an injustice when you see it. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
You took it too far, man.
He took it too far. And the thing was,
I didn't take anything too far at all.
Here's what really bothers me about
It's still too far.
Here's
It's been 2 days.
Okay, whatever.
Here's what bothers me about it, Peyton. You agreed to the arbiter decision making. Remember?
Maybe.
And you don't even have to mean the apology. I just want to hear the words.
All right. Okay.
Hey, cross your fingers behind your back.
I don't care.
They're crossed right in front of my phone.
I don't want, see, now it's null and void. You could have just kept.
My fingers uncrossed. My fingers aren't crossed. I'm sorry that I took what you said the wrong way.
That's
apology
beautiful.
Not accepted.
Oh.
Okay, well then I'm done apologizing. You messed it up.
Got him. Well, look,
you messed it up, so I'll never apologize for.
It's not like it was a real
day in
apology.
my life to you.
Josh, I don't think in our entire lives together, I've ever done something to you worth apologizing for. Not even once. I've never had to apologize to you.
No,
Neither do I.
You just did.
You
did.
said not accepted, so I'm not apologizing for anything ever again.
I accept your apology. How's
Okay,
that?
well, I don't accept the fact that I had to apologize.
What? What does that mean? He doesn't accept the fact that he had to apologize. You didn't have to apologize. You agreed that somebody would look at this situation and you would abide by whatever was ruled.
I got to say, at this point, this apology is going to have an asterisk next to it.
No question. It's like 1998. Mark McGuire
all over again. Yeah.
Barry Bonds, all that shit.
No, we don't talk about Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds doesn't have an asterisk. He's the best.
No, Barry Bonds is asterisk free.
Yeah. So is A-Rod. But yeah, it's summer of 1998 for sure.
Whatever.
I just, I'm disappointed in the process. I'm disappointed that my son betrayed me. And,
whatever.
I'm disappointed that he doesn't love me.
All right.
What say you, Peyton?
What say I?
Yeah, what say you?
I say that now you're being dramatic. And,
like you were.
I wasn't being dramatic. I was.
Ryan has never done anything to me besides not tell me that he was married, which I think I am owed an apology for as well.
And I don't reply to a lot of texts.
He doesn't.
He wants apology from here and there and Ronald's next.
I told you about my son though. Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll apologize.
No, I don't need one. Not for that. You have a wife and a kid. You're a busy guy.
I have a wife.
No one cares.
Okay.
I have a wife.
Does your wife speak Spanish?
No, but she can do sign language.
Oh, okay. My wife needs a friend that speaks Spanish.
That'll come in handy if she ever was helping Helen Keller.
Helen Keller was blind too, so she wouldn't see.
That's true. How did she? What happened? How did she?
MLB. I hit into a double play.
Playing MLB. How did they communicate with Helen Keller then?
Oh, they didn't. I don't know. I don't think they communicated at all.
Peyton thinks she's faking.
No, I think her life was just miserable.
Great.
But I don't think she like.
Wait, she was blind. She was blind and deaf.
They say blind, deaf, and dumb, but I
dumb.
don't understand the dumb part. Like, how could she be? How would they know that?
She's dumb.
She's just blind and deaf. That doesn't make her dumb.
Well, I mean, maybe it could because like she doesn't know anything if you're blind and deaf.
Yeah, but if she wasn't blind and deaf, she wouldn't be dumb.
Okay.
So I don't
I
think.
think what they mean when you're blind and deaf, you don't have any like reference to the world, so like you don't know anything, so you're dumb.
Why would you throw that on her?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's rude.
Like insult to injury. Yeah.
You know, she's already got it bad enough, and you're gonna throw dumb on top of. Oh yeah, she's blind and deaf, and most people would go, "Yeah, that's terrible," and then they go, "And dumb." Oh,
and she's dumb.
Like I never understood that. I think that that's foul. I'm team Helen.
They owe her an apology.
Fly a plane. She like flew a plane.
I thought that was Amelia Earhart.
Did you just say, did Helen Keller fly a plane?
Yeah.
How could she do that?
People say that she did.
Nobody ever said.
I don't think they say that.
Nobody has ever said that Helen Keller.
Right, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Amelia Earhart was like
I know who Amelia Earhart was.
No, you don't. And you don't. Helen Keller flew a plane.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah. Peyton.
Helen Keller, who was both Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf, flew a plane in 46 as part of her advocacy for the blind.
Bull crap.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm calling crap on it, but that's what they say.
That can't be true.
Look it up.
I just wrote, did Helen, and then it came up, fly a plane.
Not a
Google's listening.
Yes, in June 1946, Helen Keller, despite being deaf and blind, piloted a Douglas Skymaster plane for 20 minutes over the Mediterranean Sea. What? From Rome to Paris with the help. Dude, this lady was a pilot.
How could she even write books?
I don't know.
I don't mean to sound like insensitive or anything.
It said the New York Times covered the flight, reporting that Keller likened the plane to a great graceful bird sailing through the illimitable skies.
How'd she know what a bird was?
I don't, Peyton, you're asking me questions that I don't know. How'd you know what a plane was?
She didn't. I think it's me.
Gotta be.
Like, you know, it kind of reminds me of when my grandpa used to tell me that I was driving the motorcycle, but I was just riding on the front of it. I'd tell everybody, I'd be like 6. I was like, I drove a motorcycle today. And then, you know, everybody like roll their eyes. Like, yeah, sure.
She was 66 years old when she did it. Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, I believe it. I just don't know what the point of it is.
I don't believe it at all.
Well, she might have just sat in the seat with their hands on the.
Yeah, it's on autopilot.
Yeah, I mean,
in 1946 on a 1919 biplane.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't like. How could you say, "Hey, get out of the seat. We're going to crash"? Because I mean,
she's going down with the.
Well, she sounds like an amazing person.
Right.
I'm serious.
What does she do?
I believe what you're saying.
I don't
know.
know.
Those people who I know is famous, but I don't know what she's famous for. Like she did something.
She flew a plane being blind and deaf. And I think that somehow she was able to communicate with people, but I don't know the story.
Like a scientist or something?
No.
Did she cure polio?
Books.
Oh.
Yeah, Helen Keller cured polio.
She wrote books.
You're absolutely right. Actually, she did cure polio.
She wrote books.
And cured polio better. And she could probably apologize better too.
You know what? Shout out to all my blind and deaf people out there in the world.
Okay. Dude, shout out.
That's the end of this podcast, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and ended on a weird note. It always goes with Helen Keller or Anne Frank or something from.
No, it ended on a good note.
I got a lot of opinions about Anne Frank. We'll get into that next time, though.
Oh God, I can't.
I want to hear it now.
No, I can't handle it. I got to go get my stuff off that lady's porch.
I want to hear the opinions.
Well, that's what we can do more. I'm terrified to hear his opinions, to be honest with you, about Anne
You'd
Frank.
probably edit all of them out.
I probably would have to.
And you're probably going to edit this entire section out.
No, only the part where he said that they probably smelled.
That was a good joke. You better not edit that out.
I mean, it was, but it was it was funny. And then Ronell goes, "Well, she probably had a really great sense of smell." It was a good follow-up joke. Peyton,
2 of our senses were taken.
Peyton, I need you to apologize one more time.
I'm sorry, everybody that